I think it's a basic requirement as a human being that your life needs meaning. Now, you could call this an existential crisis, but I believe that the reason we search for meaning in our lives is because it's part of our DNA as humans to have some sort of meaning. In other videos I've compared my life as feeling like a worker ant. But if you look at a worker ant, their roles in life consist of a few simple things. It's either gathering food, defending the nest, or looking after the young, moving eggs about out of harm to the right temperature within the nest. So if we take those to be agriculture, defence, healthcare, and possibly education, although I don't know whether ants actually get educated into being ants or whether it's just something they're born with, but either way, there's those four core purposes that an ant, a worker ant, has. So as humans, we also feel like we have to have a purpose. Is our purpose providing food for the survival of our species? Is it providing defence for the protection of our species? Or is it providing healthcare to keep our species thriving? Or is it providing education so that the new generations of our species can continue doing the things that we've been doing? There has to be a purpose, and it's not necessarily a purpose on the grander side of the species. If you're a parent, then all those things could relate to just looking after your own family. You're providing them with food, you're providing them with protection, you're providing them with healthcare, and you're educating them in some way. So for some people, just being in that family unit gives them all the purpose they need in life. But for some of us, I think we have to find that purpose in other ways. Again, for me personally, because I don't have any dependents, I'm not married and I don't have children, so there's nobody depending on me to either feed them, protect them, keep them healthy or educate them. It means that I lack purpose in some ways, so the only way I can find that purpose is through the work that I'm doing. I don't have my own little society to sort of look after, so my only role on this earth really is to provide some service to the species as a whole, or at least a wider community than me myself. Just looking after myself is not really a sufficient motivation for existing. So because of that, I expect to get some feeling of purpose from anything I do. If I'm working a job, I need to feel that job is actually providing some purpose. Now, much of my career has been spent working in the defence industry, so you would think that my purpose in life falls into the sort of the defence side of the ant's job. But I have to admit, although that's how I felt at the start of that particular career path, over the years you kind of you sort of lose your way a bit, and without getting too sort of political on the the pros and cons of war and conflict and where defence ends and where offence begins, if you want to put it that way, I found myself not really getting enough sense of purpose from working in that industry. It seems like whatever I'm putting in is only a minor contribution, and I don't actually know what effect it's having in the bigger picture. You can try to justify it in some ways, but to me personally, it's just not doing it for me. It's just not giving me the sense of purpose that I feel that I need. so it leads us to search for purpose in other ways, and I think that's why nowadays more of us are wanting to be creators. We're wanting to be artistic, and we want to write, and we want to make music, and we want to make videos, and we just want to put something out into the world because we feel like we need to be doing something, because we can't get the sense of purpose we need from those, from the traditional agriculture, defence, healthcare or education. We're sort of having to find a fifth way, which could be, it could just be entertainment, or you could argue that I mean, some of us are trying to go the education route. I mean, education doesn't have to be structured teaching, and to be honest, I'm no fan of structured teaching at all, because my mind is sort of too chaotic for any kind of structured education plan. So even little videos like this, you could argue, is going towards the education. But even if it's entertainment, as far as I know, worker ants don't feel the need to entertain each other. Perhaps they do, but I think entertainment is something that's very, very human. The need to feel some kind of leisure or relaxation, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But going back to my main point, I think that's why so many people now are going down these creative routes. Why everybody wants to be a creative. When you had these interviews with children at school, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't know what children at school want to do now, but many of them, when they said I wanted to be a YouTuber, was it really because they just wanted the fame and the money? Probably for some of them, yes, but I think for others it's because they wanted to be creative. They wanted to feel like they were actually putting something out into the world that was uniquely them. They weren't just doing something that 100 other people could do in an identical way, which basically then makes them insignificant as an individual. It's like standing on a production line and everybody's just got the same spanner and you're all just doing up the same bolt on your own little product you're building. At the end of the day, if you fall over, if you keel over, then they can just put somebody back in your place and they'll just carry on doing the same job with the same spanner on the same bolt as you were doing, and your role there was basically insignificant. So I think that's why many people now want that individuality. They want to feel that their life has a purpose, that there's a reason why they as an individual exist in this world, not just them doing a job that, like I say, 100 other people could do in an identical way. They want to feel like there's a reason why they as an individual are going through all the stresses in life that we have to go through, all the pain and the misery and the heartache that we go through in our lives. We have to feel like there's a reason for it. There has to be, like an effort and reward balance there. Where okay, just living your life takes a lot of effort. There's a lot you have to deal with, but you have to feel like you're getting something out of it. And I think that's why we strive for purpose. We feel there has to be a reason for us to exist. There has to be a reason for me to exist here, and there has to be another separate reason for you to exist here. We can't just label ourselves like we do. We as humans have a habit of labelling each other and putting each other into clean little boxes, whether that be based on politics or religion or race or sexuality or intelligence or education level or anything else. We have this habit of trying to find a box that we can put people into, rather than just accepting that some of us have to function as individuals. We're not happy to just be put in a box with somebody else and just say, well, you're a white heterosexual 50-something male. You know, I am all those things, but I'm also Jason. I'm an individual, and you're an individual too. So yeah, you know, let's find our purpose as individuals. Let's not allow ourselves to get put in, you know, in these boxes where we suddenly cease to exist and we just become, you know, a statistic, a quantity in a box with a label on. Let's try and find our purpose as individuals, and maybe we'll have more fulfilling lives that way. And until next time, I've been Jason, you've been you. Let's be the most individual us's that we can be in our own special way. Bye for now.